back with the Longhorn Insurance here in Beaufort, and I have Jay Taylor, we have Sheila Peeples, and Sheila stepped in with us because you are sort of the person here for homeowners insurance.
The personal lines department manager, yes.
That's what she is. And so we want to talk about that because it's very important. Down here, you know, like I said, when people are traveling from the north or wherever else, we have a different list that we need insurance. Let's give our viewers some of that information.
So most clients understand that they need homeowners insurance, but they may not think about golf cart insurance or boat insurance, earthquake, flood, things like that.
And there are folks that are moving from out of the area, again, are probably not familiar with flood. And they haven't had to purchase the coverage elsewhere, and they come down here and what the draw for folks is the beautiful water, the landscape we have here. It's you know, everyone wants to be on or near the water, but that could have consequences for your insurance. There was a pretty major overhaul, as you will, of the National Flood Insurance Program, where the majority of flood insurance is sold today. That was done last year, and in insurance circles, it was named Flood 2.0.
Right.
But what it's done now is it's changed the way the federal government charges for flood insurance, and so proximity to the water is a much bigger deal, and folks also that are at least residents of the area know that in March of last year there was a remapping of the flood zones by FEMA, and what that means is that the surveyors came down and resurveyed the entire county and redrew the flood zone maps. So folks that may have been in one particular flood zone last year may be in a different flood zone this year, and that could be very beneficial to your flood insurance premium, or maybe not. But regardless, we are close to we're close to water everywhere, and folks ought to consider flood, and it's a big deal. So
It is.
But the nice thing is there are a lot of private market options now that have sprung up over the past couple of years, and we represent many different private options. So I really recommend folks come in and talk to Sheila, talk to her team, and we'll educate them on what options they have, where they live, and we can tell them what flood zones they're in, what elevation that they would need to build to, and so forth.
And I love this idea, and this is so important, and this is why it's important to come into the insurance agency and talk to everybody, because it's a conversation, and you're not on the internet looking at things, you're trying to figure out maps, and it's all inclusive, and you live here, and you know you're locals, and you live here, and you just know the ebbs and flows of the water and everything else. So I think that's a great conversation.
Let me tell you, it's really interesting. Those folks we have. Well, there are a lot of people that have gone on and started their search on the internet, and a lot of people have purchased coverage directly on the internet. And great, if you have the knowledge and experience to be able to do that, then by all means, that's a great way to get started and buy that. But at the end of the day, we've seen clients that have purchased coverage on the internet. They want a local representative. They want somebody they can talk to. We're in the people business. We sell a promise to somebody. We sell an intangible product that does no one any good unless something really bad has gone wrong. And so we those folks want to have a personal relationship with someone on the other end, as opposed to the hope that someone will be there when they call the 1-800 number when something's gone bad. Something's going wrong.
Exactly.
And so that's why we want to build. Our motto for this organization is earning trust and building relationships, and that's what we're all about.
So Sheila, when you sit down with a potential customer, what are their concerns, their fears, or their questions?
Honestly, their concerns are normally about price, which is only one determining factor, or should only be one in choosing your insurance company. The financial stability of the company is very important. We've had some companies pull out the state of our southeastern states after the catastrophes over the last few years. So you want to make sure that you have a financially stable carrier. And then you want to look at the coverages. Some of them have limited coverages or higher deductibles. It's important to know what you're paying for.
And what do you think? Being here for 20 years, and you've seen, how often do the policies and things change? I know this big changes happen with the floods, because we've been hit with a couple of hurricanes. First time in 100 years.
Right.
So with that being said, and how often do the policies change? Is it?
Well, Sheila, go ahead and talk to some of the homeowners.
So we're in a hard market right now, and we saw this after Hurricane Katrina. Sometimes the carriers, instead of pulling out of the area, they'll limit their risk by increasing deductibles, or the underwriting guidelines might change. Like they might not like the older roof. So there's different things that can change depending on what's going on, and that's why it's important to speak to somebody that's local. So you don't miss out on that information.
As Sheila mentioned, there's been some great instability in the marketplace over the past year or so, and we have had several companies that have pulled out. We have a few more that are going to pull out this year, and some of those companies have gone simply insolvent. There are others that are concentrating their risk elsewhere. And so again, having a trusted advisor you can count on is really important. And we'll show you options and see what fits best for the client, as opposed to simply saying, here's the least expensive thing that we have to offer.
No, and I think that's very important. And also being down here and being a new person to the community, you just really want to have that information.
Right.
So there is so much more to talk about. We'll be right back with more 843 TV. Stay with us.